Adam Savage from Tested here in my cave, and it is all space cameras today. Careful viewers of the channel might recognize this Contrex camera as a Ryan Nagata build I did a show and tell of a few weeks ago. And this is an exact replica of the camera that the Gemini astronauts, the very first American astronauts to leave the comfort of their spacecraft, this is the camera that they used. And it's not just a camera, it's also a rocket maneuvering unit. Yeah, these cylinders held a compressed gas and the astronauts used these rocket ports to steer themselves around. Later in the Apollo days, NASA went to a medium format camera like this, Hasselblad. And this is another Ryan Nagata build. This build is actually really cool because while it looks exactly like the original Hasselblad, it's actually cast in hollow resin. This weighs almost nothing. In fact, it weighs about 1/6 of what a Hasselblad would weigh, which is really cool because that's the moon's gravity, 1/6 of Earth's gravity. So Ryan made a Hasselblad camera that weighs on Earth what it should weigh on the moon. I added a little Polaroid action camera to the front lens port here that can slot right in there with magnets, and that's so that I can gather footage from my digital camera. Yeah, it's like adding this whole extra dimension to my space cosplay. But neither of these is the camera we came here today to talk about. We came here to talk about this camera. Now, by the time NASA was launching the Space Shuttle, they were moving towards more modern single-lens reflex film cameras back into the 35mm realm, and this Nikon F3 body was used by NASA on dozens and dozens and dozens of missions. But more important to me than the F3 body, just a fine body, is this beautiful 55mm f1.2 lens. That big fat piece of glass means that lots of light is moving from the world onto the film plane. I love nothing more than fast glass because it looks so gorgeous, and that particular eyeball of NASA's F3 lens is like something that I think about when I think about shuttle era photography. But it doesn't have that classic NASA look, does it? And that's where today's one-day build begins. We need the help of my friend Anthony Kovacs. Hello, sir.
Hey, Adam.
How
Good
are
to see
you?
Great. How are you?
Anthony is a fellow NASA obsessive and a dab hand at the sewing machine. You've made some parts and pieces for me over the years in the past.
I have, yes.
This is the first time we're working here in the cave to make a shroud for this Nikon F3 body. That's our one-day build.
So just kind of a rough idea, just a drawing of the thing exploded.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, right, this is a fabric that will wrap around this. And did you just draw this from scratch to begin with? Or did you start working with
I drew it
paper?
from scratch after I made this pattern to get a physical,
Oh, this is awesome.
Wrap my mind around it. But if you want to set it right there, perfect.
All right.
Turn it sideways. And so this should wrap right up under. And you got to kind of, because it's fatter on the one side, you have to finesse it like you just said. Yeah, so that lines up there. Let's pull this side up. That one lines
And the
up.
Nikon's not covered?
It is not.
Wow.
It's so strange. And actually, I have my laptop.
And I think it's a fundamentally different viewfinder on the NASA one than I haven't been able to find that correct viewfinder. I think it's a little bit fatter.
Oh, okay.
I can't quite remember, but that's fine.
Yeah, I honestly, I struggled to find photographs of this shroud in other places.
I sent you a few of mine.
Yeah, well, yeah, that was.
But it's amazing. It was harder than I thought it should be for a shuttle era camera.
Right? So here you can see these tabs in the back go up. They'll have Velcro.
Right.
They'll Velcro to the inside of here.
Right.
And that will Velcro there. Oh, yeah. And these just kind of slide in and Velcro.
Dude.
And once it's fabric and everything, it will, I think it'll wrap pretty nicely.
Also have a serger stitch. It'll do an overstitch.
That's what
to an edge.
Yeah, that's exactly what we need.
Okay.
Around those circles.
Dude.
But there you go. If you have like some Scotch tape, we can just throw it on there just to kind of hold it in place. But there's your.
There it is. There's my NASA shroud. And now that's already starting to look like a right and proper NASA camera.
If you unfocus your eyes, we can call it cut. And wrap it for the day.
I love objects like that.
And here's what's interesting and what I found, and I don't have anything to back this up other than just what I can see with my eyes and how my mind disassembles stuff when I replicate it. But the majority of this NASA stuff is usually one layer and then a layer underneath that's the same size that has enough seam allowance to usually wrap over once.
That's it.
And just folds, and yeah, so it'll basically be 2 of these. One will be a little bit bigger, and you can see the underlying piece will just be where these little flaps are. The extra pieces are, this flap will just be made separately and stitched once there.
Okay.
This one, stitched once here. And then there's a little flap that we'll actually put a piece of Velcro and cut the circle out of the middle of the Velcro.
Awesome.
And then a little flap will go right here to be stitched once, fold it down, stitch it over top of that.
I have a crap ton of leather punches, which will handily cut perfect circles in fabric
Excellent.
for us.
Yeah, that'll be great. Perfect. And you know, I'm not exactly sure. I don't really think they were holding it up to their eyes. So
No, they weren't.
Yeah, I was gonna say
because you can't put your eye up to it in the helmet. It's literally you're pointing it at it and kind of getting the
best that you can. So all right, cool. It looks like then
that we may punch that after the fact once we've got it mostly constructed.
But I'd say that this.
Yeah, that looks.
I mean,
good.
when it's cloth, it just needs to be like.
And is that open on the bottom?
It is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's kind of
probably
strange.
because there's a tripod mount there.
I'm guessing
to have access to the 1/4-20 bolt that was down there. This is not the correct motor drive for this F3. NASA had a custom one. I haven't gotten around to fabricating it. All right.
Okay. Well then, yeah.
Let's start
I'm thinking
using that as a pattern.
That sounds good to me.
Kind of curious what my role in this one-day build is. I think you're doing most of the sewing here, and I'm curious to learn from watching you go.
Yeah,
But,
no, that's totally fine.
I'll tell you what I have that you could utilize here.
Oh, excellent. Yes. Okay, we're going to do that. And yeah, this one needs to be longer because it's fatter on that side. So I think we can just. This piece, when it's all finished, is going to lay on top of that slightly larger piece. When I have the slightly larger piece cut out, if you just want to run like a tight, almost like a faux serge stitch the whole way around the edge of the larger piece.
While you're, okay, cool.
Yeah, I'll cut out like the pieces for the flaps and stuff, and then when that's done, that serged edge will be the edge that folds over.
Oh, nice.
And we'll do a straight stitch right over top, and it's going to look great.
For this circle, hold on.
Yeah, I was going to say,
I have a thing for you.
Yeah.
A fabric cutter's template.
Perfect.
So you should be able to find, and then you could use an X-Acto blade.
Right on this?
Yeah, hang on.
Great.
Hang on, I'm going to give you a better surface for it.
Wonderful.
Board, and then, yeah, there you go.
Thank you. Oh, wonderful.
So you want me to do a serger around this?
Yeah, if you want to do it directly along the edge, and then that edge is the one that will fold over, and that will look very true to the original.
Nice. I'm glad I get to contribute.
Yeah, absolutely. Basically, we've just taken all these extra flaps.
And you're just doing just about 5/16 of an inch or so.
Yeah, just so that they meet the corners, like that. And then you can leave this little half circle here.
Okay.
You can leave that as is. That actually was going to get folded up inside, and you won't see that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll probably fold it and stitch it separate from the construction of the whole thing. Let me grab some more of those pins for you. These specific clips have a name?
I don't know. I know I bought them every time I have to go looking on Amazon again.
Yeah.
I call them like I think I do a search for sewing clips. I'm about to get to sewing while Anthony is working on this other piece. Here we go. Yes. I know it sounds like the world's crappiest wind chime, but it's not. Okay, number 10. Number 10 takes, right, the number B.
These are fabric shears?
Those are 19th century fabric shears. You can still find them on eBay for reasonable amounts of money.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that gorgeous?
This like brass
right
piece?
Yeah, they're actually not stupid expensive. I've never had anyone sharpen that one, but
God, they almost sound like for like trimming branches when you close them.
Right?
Yeah.
The thing that's about sewing that I find so fascinating is that still with more than almost any other tool, working with a sewing machine is a process of troubleshooting, right? Like you're always, like the machine's always kind of misbehaving in some small way, and you're trying to bring these like 5 different relationships into an orientation.
Yeah.
But you have to give over to that the tool itself requires a constant maintenance, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. And the fact that the mechanism is operating in such a way that, I mean, your mind has a hard way to wrap around. Yeah. Has a hard time wrapping around how it functions.
Well, you know how it came to the United States. Do you know this?
I don't actually.
So the sewing machine is the thing that started the Industrial Revolution.
No shit.
Absolutely. It is, being able to mass produce clothing was the beginning of the Industrial Revolution. And it was a state secret in Britain. And an American memorized how the sewing machine was built and came to America and made one. It was literally a trade secret stolen by the early United States. Here you go.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much. All right, let's take a look at this.
You want me to sew these?
Yeah, if you want to just do a straight stitch all along the outer edge.
Does it get Velcro on one side? Should I do that at the same time, or should I do that separately?
We can do the Velcro after these are stitched.
Great.
Yeah, so you just do those first. I'm gonna connect these 2 pieces, which is the main body, and then we're ready to just cut out some Velcro, attach it, and I think we'll be good to go.
I have had a lot of this pre-wound.
Oh, yeah, helpful.
I do have an industrial bobbin winder.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I invested in one a few years ago.
Oh, that's great.
All right, let's see.
Yeah, that's something that with every job I usually spend about 15 minutes at the beginning, just rolling bobbin after bobbin, or winding bobbin after bobbin. All right. It's looking pretty good. Yes, that looks exactly like the reference photo.
What's that?
This like, so you stitch that on, and then you have this like weird,
Yes.
crooked.
I know, I love that.
Yeah, that's like the first I've gotten to experience that, like knowing, like spacesuit, soft good.
And that's the thing is like when you end up seeing those artifacts that the same craftspeople doing the thing you're doing experienced 50, 60, 70 years ago, you're walking in there, like always feel this simpatico, like I'm walking in their footsteps.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And there's this kind of lovely thing of like, I'm doing almost exactly the same operations as someone who was thinking, I'm putting a person in space by making this.
Seriously, yeah. It's like, it's so funny because you stitch on this piece of Velcro and you don't turn it over and you're like, oh man. It's like, nope, I stitched it and I know it's gonna stay on there. And that's what matters, you know, so. Let's take a look and see.
Dude.
Almost. Adam, you want to hold that? Put your hand right over top of that?
Yep.
Yes.
That looks great.
Dude.
Yeah, that looks really great, Anthony.
Cool,
That's
man.
Awesome. And then these guys go over the holes. Right, that goes there and that goes there.
One will get stitched here, one will get stitched here.
And they have Velcro so that they...
Yeah, we'll do pieces of Velcro there.
Yeah.
And on the inside.
Fantastic.
Perfect. This is going to get stitched on like that. Yeah. Okay. That is looking like a
Dude. Oh, yeah.
thermal camera cover.
Oh, that is freaking fantastic. Oh, man. Awesome. Okay, so now we need to punch some holes, yeah?
Punch some holes,
Okay.
attach these flaps, and I think we're
Let me
good to
break
go.
out my hole punching mechanisms. Boink. Isn't that lovely?
Oh my God, it's satisfying. I think we've all been there with those partial cuts, and then you got to line it back up.
There you are. Ooh,
Beautiful.
Oh, all right, and the last one is this little guy.
Yep. Beautiful. Okay.
And then this zigzag's like the last deal, yeah?
That's it, yeah.
Right.
Then
Zigzag
we're pretty much done.
12, and 12 is 5, and somewhere between 1 and 2. And here we go. Way better than I thought it would be.
Oh, wow. That's like exactly what we need.
A stitch to hoe. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that like folded edge gets kind of caught underneath.
I think that is clean enough. Are all the little flappies flapped? Flapped?
Trying to make sure that the flappies were flapped.
Okay, let's
All right.
Avengers assemble.
All right. So here,
Our
actually,
camera's going to the prom. It's time to get dressed.
Okay. So the back one first, looks like.
All right.
All right. Pull those down. Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Dude.
Wait, hold on.
Yes.
Right, wrong one. It's these ones. There we go.
There you are.
I gotta pick it up with the correct gloves. There it is. Look at that.
Oh, yes.
Anthony!
Adam.
I appreciate that I had a naked camera at the beginning of today and now I have a properly dressed camera, dude.
Yes, sir.
That was what a pleasure to work together for the first time.
Yeah, absolutely. And hopefully not the last.
Here we go. Here's looking at you, kid.